Hello, everyone. I'm Jana Stafford with BIC Magazine and would like to welcome you to our webinar today, Ditch the Scaffolding, Embrace Agility, Safety, and Efficiency with Rope Access. I'd like to thank our sponsor of today's webinar, Acuren. Acuren has been doing rope access since 2004 and has established itself as the industry leader. Today, Acuren is the largest rope access provider in North America. The discussion in this webinar will center around Acuren and how they utilize rope access mechanical services to meet its customers' needs, with a special emphasis on surface preparation and coating applications in accordance with AMPP best practice. Now I'd like to introduce our speakers. Presenting first will be Josh Jennings. Joshua has 18 plus years experience in the rope access industry. His current role in Acuren helps drive the growth and knowledge of rope access to multiple industries across the U.S. Next will be Noe Mesqueda. Noe has been in the petrochem ONG industry for nearly 20 years and in the rope access business for 11. He's currently the division manager for Acuren. Presenting last will be Juan Trevino. Juan has been in the coatings industry for the past 13 years. His experience in coatings ranges from surface preparation, numerous coating applications, supervising, managing, and inspections responsibilities on both small and large projects. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for your time today.
Hello, thank you, Jana, and good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in. So today's agenda is going to be on rope access, safety, and training, rope access and with alternative access, exposure hours and cost savings using rope access, industrial services from rope access, and coatings and containment options to end it. As we get started, we're going to start with rope access safety and training, and kind of give an explanation on that. So rope access is a method of work positioning systems to gain the access to where the work is actually needing to be performed. A little bit different than just your fall restraint positioning. A variety of different rigging scenarios can be used in order to access the hard to reach locations. Rope access is not new to the industry. It's actually been around for over 40 years. Workers are suspended, so they're not exposed to high fall factors. And there's a really good safety culture around rope access. This is mentored with the rope access training and also advancements through the levels of rope access that you have. All the equipment has a different variety of safety features for redundancy, which is very important in the rope access industry. Our specialized equipment based on type of work that you do, so it's not just one piece of equipment meets a bunch of different things. We have hundreds of pieces of equipment to utilize depending on the type of work that is being performed and the type of rigging that is needed. There's also comprehensive written work safe practices and standards with both SPRAT and IRATA, as well as company standards and practices as well. One of the good things about rope access is there is the ability to self-rescue as needed, and there's also rig to rescue while the work is being performed. So the dual line redundant system, you have two rope access lines. One is your main line and one is a backup line. Each one has an independent system, anchor system. The main system is used to move up and down with your descender, and then you have a backup on your secondary system. The backup will automatically lock if the main system ever does fail. Each line is rated for more than 6,000 pounds for breaking load. So going to explain the difference on fall factors and the difference in fall arrest versus rope access. Fall arrest, you normally end up with a fall factor of 1 or 2, depending on the position of your climb and where you're tied off at. If you're tied off at your waist or at your feet or even below your feet, you can have a fall factor of 2. Whereas in rope access, you're tied off at your shoulders or above or waist or above. So therefore you have a fall factor of 0.5 or even 0 if you're in your suspended properly. So greatly reducing any type of injury. using rope access. So just an example of the different types of tie off here. You can see on your left here, this is your typical example of a fall arrest versus your work positioning where you cannot fall. He is suspended directly in place there. With rope access, you do the different levels here. And so you've got 3 different levels of certification, a level 1, a level 2, and then a level 3. These are governed by both IRATA and SPRAT. And both IRATA and SPRAT have very similar certification schemes. You have a level 1. You don't have to have any hours or anything in order to be a level 1 until you go into the training. Then you end up with 40 hours of training where you have a pass and fail with a third-party assessor at the end of that training. Once you become a level 1, you're a level 1 for 500 to 1,000 hours, depending on IRATA versus SPRAT, and 6 months or a year. Then you can go through another additional training course of 40 hours where you'll then have another pass and fail by a third party. And once again, for level 3, similar scenario with 500 to 1,000 hours. So that'll give you a total of 1,000 hours or 2,000 hours performing rope access before you can become a level 3 supervisor in the field. So this really helps with the safety culture that rope access can provide you. There's always a level 3 on the crew whenever you're working with Akron. And this level 3 will be guiding and working with the level 1s and level 2s and setting up all rigging and rescue scenarios. This level 3 will design all the rigging and set up for rig to rescue for your safety purposes if anything does happen. So really does give a safety culture whenever you're using rope access because you have that experienced technician in the field and with the crew hands-on. Just an example of the safety performance with Akron and the U.S. data here. We've had just under 1 million hours last year on rope access. We've made over 2 million man hours without a recordable injury. And in fact, one recordable injury in the last 7 years, which was a slip and trip, kind of a fall in a confined space while tied off. And so that's a really good record with just one injury in the last 7 years. So you see the exposure hours of almost 1 million hours. Moving on, we're going to talk about rope access with alternative access methods. So this can be with some type of platform or netting. And so this one in particular is going to be your VDEC. And so VDEC, which is, you can almost think of like a quick scaffolding to be able to build up. You can build this up to being a green deck scaffolding. So, but the good thing about the VDEC is it's 80% lighter, or 5 times lighter, and it goes up 80% faster. It has actually less volume, so that really helps with any type of offshore work where you're concerned with any type of areas that you have with lay down yards on offshore. And then you have also reduction in components, so less likely to lose components or any type of components fall. All the components can be tied off. You can install this with the top down. So this actually really does help with confined spaces, or if you're needing to move the VDEC very quickly in order to move pipe spools up and down. You can do modifications very quickly in the field, and the crew itself is able to do that immediately using rope access. So you have very quick installations with the same result. This VDEC can actually be designed in multiple levels as well. And one of the good things with this is you can design these multiple levels to get to different work areas very quickly to do the extended work scopes that you might have. But these levels can actually move, independently moved up and down into place. So another good area where you don't have to sit there and continuously modify the scaffolding and over again. You can actually set this in place, move it up and down, or even left and right with the different rigging scenarios that you might have. Like I said, it can be green tagged whenever it's designed and installed properly following the approved plans by engineering. And you can actually you can be doing the work. If you're using rope access technicians, you can be installing on one side of this area and VDEC and while doing work on another area, versus if you have the scaffolding, then you end up having to have the entire scaffold complete, signed off, tagged before anybody can actually start performing any type of work. It's another good area for the VDEC. Here we're talking about the truss systems. And with the aluminum truss systems, you can install this very quickly to, we use this a lot with confined space and type of spheres or drums, any type of tanks that you can install quickly to be able to access the inner walls. They can actually be designed in different scenarios from small areas to large areas. And what this does is allow you to access the sidewall for any type of inspection or type of work that might be performed at that using rope access as well. Goes up very quickly. You can even use this in different scenarios for training purposes, and any type of rigging that you can work then with VDEC as well. And it kind of goes hand in hand with designs to install very quickly, and you can install basically from the entire platform. So if your work scope increases while you're doing the inspections, you can very quickly modify this and install VDEC utilizing both the truss system and the VDEC to get large amounts of area inside your confined space. So there's advantages to this. So you've got smaller crews working together you end up with lower exposure hours. You have lower fall factors because you're using 2 points of contact. You're always rigged for rescue. Like I mentioned before, you have the additional training with the crew. You remotely inspect and you plan for the work. You've got one contractor that's you're communicating with. Everyone on the crew is contributing to that work, so that helps reduce the delays. And you don't have to coordinate with multiple vendors and waiting on one company to finish their task before another company can start their task. So you have smaller crews, less overhead, less hours, and less strain on the end user as well, because you're able to just work with that one company's, that one permit, go over that one safety aspect of the job. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Noe, who's going to talk to you about the cost savings of using rope access.
Thank you, Josh. So talking about cost savings and reducing headcount, right, which is going to reduce risk at the facility. 68% average reduction to the scheduling headcount when using rope access. On average, a rope access team of 4 can do the work of 10, right? This case study was actually done at one of our major facilities in the Gulf region. And as you see in the graph below, there was multiple jobs that we completed doing flare tip changeouts, right? And you see the 55% cost savings and headcount reduction. API 570, piping inspection that was conducted, UT thickness readings that were conducted on multiple vessels and pipings, and you see an 80% cost savings, and nozzles that we actually put our hands on at a 42%. Cable pulls was a huge cost savings and time savings for this customer right here at a 90% rate. People look at it and they say, pulling cable from one end of the facility to the other end of the facility, how can that save a lot of time, right? Our rope access teams can get into multiple areas in a quicker and more efficient fashion than doing things traditional methods. And in this 1 year time span, we actually saved over 1 million exposure hours for this one particular customer. Acuren has a raise program that we put together many years ago, and did another case study for this one particular customer here in the Gulf region. And it was actually a 2 year case study that we put together for this current customer. We had a rope access planner that was actually deployed out to the site a few weeks before 2 rope access teams actually went out there to build this case study. And you see, over a 2 year time span, we saved $8.5 million over this 2 year time span. This customer was able to allocate this $8.5 million. They were able to allocate this $8.5 million in other aspects to be able to help the facility out. And deploying these representatives out to the site does not, we can't do that ourselves. Acuren definitely can't do it ourselves. And we need the help of procurement, the site leadership, work activity coordinators, turnaround managers, right? Everybody has to come together as a team to be able to make a program very successful with cost savings, right? But everybody also has to have the mindset that, this work, any kind of elevated work that may be conducted, think rope access first, right? So that's a big key component in being able to perform cost savings and doing rope access at each of these facilities. So this next slide, I'd like to show you the rope access inspection capabilities that we perform, right? Asset installation, remote inspection sensors installed, UT probes, advanced services, conventional NDT, MTPT, UT, RT, visual inspection, operational support, field engineering, coal bunker inspections, stack inspections, wind blade inspections, technical support, quality assurance, quality control, spring can hangers, pipe hangers and clamps, pipe supports and saddles. And basically I wanted to show and highlight, as you see the bold and underlined service lines that we offer day in, day out across North America. And here's a few of our rope access mechanical capabilities: asset installation, pipe spools, installs and demos, fiber optic cables, flare tips, lightning bulbs, right? Valves, PSVs, cable trays, cable pulls, again, cladding and roofing, winterization, steam tracing, heat tracing, steam traps, electrical heat tracing, and ice removal. Ice removal is done a little further up north. We do deploy representatives to Canada and the northern U.S. to help de-ice bridge that on guide wires where ice accumulates on there, and the safety of the public when they drive across these roadways. Operational support, engineer services, rescue and training services, shutdown, turnaround supports, maintenance, and valve isolations, right? Those are some huge ones that we help our current customers out. Then technical supports, installation, welding, pipe fitting, rigging, inspection, electrical, coatings, fireproofing. And these are, as I wanted to show these, right? The bold and underline are the ones that we complete for our customers day in, day out, here in the U.S. and in Canada. So these are big key service lines that we offer for our customers to be able to help and produce cost savings for them. And looking at some of these services, turnkey, right? A lot of customers that we deal with have CUI concerns, and CUI stands for corrosion under insulation. And putting a team together that are going to be multi-crafted, right? A team of 3, team of 4, depending on the duration and the scope of work, how large it may be. These members are going to be multi-crafted, and seeing this first bullet point where it's RTR, right? One of the members will have a RTR, which another terminology for it will be open vision. right? Or they could do MDI, which is a moisture detector. It's a proprietary software and device that Accurant owns, right? We'll have NCCR insulators for the insulation removal, API inspectors and NDT inspectors that are certified to conduct UT, RT, MT, PT, and then blasters and coaters for the for NCCR blasters and coaters to mitigate any kind of corrosion for the CUI, and to follow up with the blasting and coatings for the inspection side. We have certified NACE representatives to go out and making sure that we have all the dew points, humidity, everything is correct, and coating specifications are followed, right? And then our NCCR insulators will actually come back and install the insulation on it. Integration crews, this is a huge one for me. You know, I love being able to tell the facilities and the customers that we deal with on a day in, day out, right? Integration of crews, one company, one MSA, one PO, one point of contact, right? That's the great thing about rope access and being able to deploy a small team or deploy a larger team, right? Depending on the scope of work. And deploy them out to the facility these guys are going to be multi-crafted. And these tradesmen and inspectors, you know, depending on the work scope at hand, right? It could be welders, NCCR welders and fitters, right? NCCR fitters, NCCR I&E electrical representatives, inspectors, insulators, access specialists. Right, some of our rope access level 3s, confined space trained. There's nothing above. You know, they look at the adjacent structures to be able to rig. And a minimum crew size of rope access is going to be a crew size of 3. And at least one of those members on that team has to be a rope access level 3. So the benefits about rope access is rope access can be accomplished. A task at hand can be accomplished within a few hours, right? Whenever you do it, traditional methods could take a day, could take several days to complete that task at hand. Another good thing about rope access is that rope access puts fewer people at risk for less time, right? Which equates to fewer exposure hours. That is a huge benefit for a lot of our customers, is being able to save them exposure hours with less people at the facility. And at this time, this next few slides is gonna be about coatings and containment options. I'm gonna hand this over to Mr. Juan Trevino.
Hey, Noe, thank you for the introduction, and hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about coatings and containment options that we offer here at Akron. Coating and painting application. Rope access teams can do industrial painting and coating on any type of structures, so it really doesn't matter. As long as we have a good access point or anchor points, we're able to deploy a team out there. Crew members are trained to understand numerous coating specifications and industry coating standards. How Noe mentioned earlier, we do have NCCR and NCCR Plus painters, and they go through a lot of training to make sure that they are capable of doing the scopes. The application of maintenance coatings using rope access techniques offers several AMPP approved standards. For example, we have some of the standards that we abide by. The most general ones we use are like hand tool, power tool cleaning to bare metal. We do offer brush off cleaning, near white metal blasting, and that will be mostly on localized areas that you need some work done. Blasting and coating and cost savings. So cost savings associated with rope access painting extend beyond equipment and labor expenses. Rope access painting technicians can easily navigate around structures. How I said, as long as we have a good anchor point, we can place ropes. These guys could go out there and perform anything that needs to do with coatings, reaching hard to reach areas without the need of extensive preparation or containments. Rope access eliminates the need of costly scaffolding, So this eliminates like usual traditional methods of using rope access, scaffolding. And rope access painting allows technicians to start painting almost immediately after reaching the work area. Of course, this minimizes downtime and disruptions to other operations. And how I said, removing scaffolding, as soon as the guys start putting up ropes and everything, they can get to the work area immediately, start power tooling, surface preparation, and start painting as well. Akron does offer AMPP certified inspectors from CIP level 1 all the way to CIP level 3. Whenever it does come to us hiring these representatives, we make sure that a lot of these NACE inspectors do come with a background in the field, just so we can offer our customers better quality inspectors and that they know what they're doing as far as maybe troubleshooting equipment, helping on projects, minimizing downtime. And how I said, they're highly experienced in surface preparation, cleanliness, environmental conditions, coating mixtures, and coating safety concerns. Some of those safety concerns would be like lead abatement, stuff like that. Some of these inspectors come with a background of lead projects and stuff like that, so they can help you out with any scope that you have dealing with lead. They are capable of undertaking non-destructive and destructive inspections, so pull test methods, X-cut, holiday detection. These guys are specialists on stuff like that. And they're destructive inspections of liquid and non-liquid coatings as well on any kinds of substrates. Skilled technical knowledge with problem-solving abilities to address issues. So this is what I mean about whenever we interview these inspectors, we want to make sure that they've worked in the industry. They know from the beginning to the end how the blasting is performed. That way, whenever we send them out to job scopes, in case we have any problems, they're able to assist as well to make sure the project keeps on going successfully. Here's a little bit about the truss system that we use, self-contained and workspace. So right here we have a truss system on this pipe span, and that helps us out a lot to build containments and for any sandblasting jobs or lead abatement jobs that you might need. Our guys are able to install this truss system, build a containment, and keep on installing truss systems so that they keep moving forward and building more containment so that, how I said, we could contain any hazardous materials and stuff like that. This can be used in conjunction with VDEC as well, and up to 50-foot spans without any kind of support. So basically, they're going to be installing 50-foot spans and building containment and moving forward. So hoarding and containment, it's utilizing a combination of VDEC netting or truss systems. So how I said, if we're going to be doing any blasting where it involves lead abatement and stuff like that, we're able to use this truss system or the VDEC on pipelines, bridges, or any kind of bridges to contain the grid, any lead or insulation, trash, etc. It's also good to, like, if you want to keep everything contained as far as like equipment out of sight, that's a very good way to use the containment and truss system, especially like on bridges. That way it's out of sight, out of mind. Some small containments can be built and easily moved along horizontal vertical piping as well. And I believe that's pretty much it. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you for your time. Please reach out if you want a demonstration of any type of rope access, VDEC, or any type of hoarding. More than happy to invite you to our facility, one of our many facilities, 70 facilities across the U.S., or if you want us to come to your facility and we can put up the VDEC truss system and do rope access presentations as well at your facility. So our contact information is on here, and there's a option for y'all to put some questions in. A few of them have come in while we were doing this presentation. So we're just going to go through a couple of these questions, but please feel free to type your questions in, and we'll try and get to your questions as they come. So one of the first questions is, what's the difference between Sprat and Errata? Good question. So, like I said, their schemes are pretty similar. The big difference is with Sprat, they use the 500 hours per level from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, where our Errata is 1,000 hours. And then as far as companies go, Sprat, if you're going to be audited, is more voluntary, whereas with Errata, extensive auditing program that's mandatory. And then let's see that. I think the other only Errata requires a level 3 on the crew, where level 2 can actually lead a Sprat crew. We don't do that here at Akron, but that is another possibility that you could do. I think those are the main differences whenever you come to Sprat and Errata, but both of them are used in the U.S. And even across the world at this point. So another question is, how do you protect people while on from lead while on ropes? Sorry, questions keep coming in. It kept moving. So
yeah, I'll go ahead and answer that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's pretty simple, man. Usually, it wouldn't be any different from lead abatement from the ground side of things. So the same protection that we give the guys if they were doing it on the ground, as far as decon stations, PPE, Tyvek, etc. That's the same protection we would offer for our guys. The only difference is that the way of access would be via rope access. So it would not change any of the methods of how we would protect our representatives.
All right, thank you. And how many rope access technicians are there in U.S. and North America? You want to take that one, Noe?
Yeah. There is, I believe in Sprat, there's 8,600 active members within Sprat, and 6,400 active members within Errata. Akron has 1,700 of those members, and close to 800 active members here in the U.S.
And another question, can technicians install inspection ports on inspection ports on columns for UT inspections? So, no, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, very good question. Depending on the columns, ladder cages that may go up to the very top or adjacent structures, got to make sure that we have adequate tie-off points to be able to hang the ropes, or look at the adjacent structures around, depending on how tall the column may be. But to answer the question, we can install inspection ports on the columns.
Another one is, can you name a few of the rope access limitations? I'll take that one on. So with that one, with rope access, you can do almost everything that you can do on the ground or on scaffolding via ropes, at least with a lot of the planning. And so that would be some of the limitations might be large scopes of work, extensive scopes of work, where you might need to go to the same area multiple times. You might want to go ahead and build that scaffolding, but rope access technicians can work with cranes to move large piping spools, or hook up even large columns and do the rigging for the cranes as well. Depending on the planning, we could really do a lot of different things. It'd just be more extensive planning and rescue efforts involved on the front end. And then, the rope access isn't the answer for everything. You still are going to have to use the scaffolding, and a lot of that's going to come to what is the timing of that needs to be done. and then the scope of work that needs to be on scaffolding. And a lot of that would say if it costs more to do the scaffolding than it does to do the work on the scaffolding, then I would look at rope access first. And then I think that's going to hopefully answer that question good enough. So, and then I think most of these other.
I see one question on there, Josh.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you protect ropes while doing welding and or grinding?
Yeah, I can take that one. I mean, a lot of that's going to be where your ropes are going to be positioned. So rope placement, your body positioning. You've got your rope protection on there where you can have canvas or leather rope protection as well, depending on the type of work that you're doing. And if need be, you can actually utilize the metal sling, wire sling, integrated into your rope access system as a backup device, so that it can be in the path of any type of around the welding or the grinding. So if you could do that where you can attach that metal or wire sling in the front or even in the back, and then that's even your third or even fourth connection point. So a lot of different redundancy and safety features while using rope access.
See another question in there. It's how many rope access technician level 3s does Acuren have?
Let's see. Checking on that one. That one's going to be probably somewhere around 600 if I were to. I'd have to look that number up to be very specific, but if you like 600 to 800, I would imagine. So. And there's a few others that are asking for contact information or reach out to you individually as well. So, and be able to give a little bit more detail on the VDEC to you as well. So.
I think that'll be good.
Okay. So make sure you're done and answer all the questions you wanted. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on and giving us this presentation. And thanks again to our sponsor, Acuren. Please visit them at acuren.com. On behalf of everyone at BIC Magazine, I'd like to thank you for attending. You can watch and share the recorded presentation in about 2 hours at bicwebinars.com or by using the same link you used today. Please bookmark bicmagazine.com for daily access to articles and videos on current news, trends, industry expansions, and technical knowledge you need to stay ahead in your business. Hey, everyone, have a wonderful and safe day.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.